DNA test be performed on the children. The mother is in agreement to the request. However, the state is requesting to proceed with this order today, as it does appear that there was a signed affidavit of paternity for the both children in this matter.
Okay. Ms. Rubio, how old is the child that we have here with Mr. Mesta?
One is 7 and the other is 5.
I'm sorry, I understand. Say that again.
One is 7 and the other is 5.
Okay. And he signed a acknowledged paternity for each of the 2 children?
Yes.
And okay,
For
so
for the first one, he signed 2 years later after he was born because he wasn't there when he was born.
Okay. That was the 7-year-old?
Yes.
Okay. So it's been 5 years since that one was signed?
Yes.
And then the 1-year-old, I think you said the other one's a 1-year-old, right?
The 5-year-old.
5-year-old. Okay. He signed that one 5 years ago?
Yes, he signed that one.
Okay, so both of them were 5 years ago. Okay. All right, so those are those papers that were signed were acknowledgments of paternity, which are legal findings that Mr. Mesta signed saying that you are the biological father, that you did not want DNA testing. Mr. Mesta, we don't do DNA when somebody signs that paper because it says that you're admitting you're the father.
Yes.
Why are you asking for DNA now?
Because the first one, I wasn't there, and somebody else signed it at first. Somebody else, because the oldest one has somebody else, another guy's different name. She got with somebody else.
Okay.
So it was just off the top.
Did they do it? Hold on. Did they do a court order? Maybe did they maybe go to child support court and then they did an exclusion order saying that the other guy wasn't the father?
I do not remember recalling that. That's why I really just wanted the oldest one since we wasn't confirmed on that. Because it was just off her. She just came back and told me that it was my kid, but
okay.
I don't know.
Did you sign that one 5 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't want testing on the younger child?
Well, I mean, I was with her at that time when we got together. That's when we had the smaller one. But like I said, the older one, she had said it wasn't mine, and she had got with somebody else. So the older one has another dude's last name.
Okay. Do you think that some other guy signed a paper for the older one?
Yes, because he's Rodriguez, which is the other dude's last name.
But that didn't answer my question. Did you think somebody else signed an acknowledged paternity for that child? That's my question.
No, I don't. I think I signed it because we were trying to change his name to. Cause like I said, she had said somebody else was the dad, but I was never asked for DNA.
At the beginning of your testimony, you said somebody else signed for it and said he was their father. So, did they sign acknowledged paternity like you signed, or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't there with the first one.
Okay. Sometimes people say that someone signed up to be the father, and that doesn't mean the same thing for us legally. Just because you name a child something doesn't mean that that's the father. I mean, you can name your child anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah, somebody else signed it because it said that on the paperwork that he had another father.
When you went to sign that paper?
Yes, the older one.
Okay. Ms. Rubio, do you know was somebody else? Did some other man sign an acknowledged paternity for your older child?
Yes, in the hospital when he was born. I got with somebody else when I was 3 months pregnant with my first child.
I don't know how that may. I'm not following, but you were already pregnant. You can't get pregnant twice.
No, I got pregnant by Plutarco, and when I was 3 months pregnant, I got into a relationship with somebody, and I was with him until my first child was born. So he signed the birth certificate and everything in the hospital.
Okay, the other man.
Yes.
Did you ever go to court for that other man?
No. I knew he wasn't the child, so there was a need for me to go to court. He wasn't the father.
Did you sign a paper that was called acknowledged paternity, like the one that Mr. Mesta signed?
In the hospital, yes. They give it to you in the hospital with paternity.
Okay, but you never got it overturned?
No.
Okay. Now, so let me make sure I understand, because I know y'all aren't lawyers and you don't know what I'm talking about. But there's a difference. So if he maybe signed the birth certificate or just said I'm the dad or something like that, That's different than him signing an acknowledged paternity. Do you think this other man actually signed the acknowledged paternity?
No, there wasn't another man signing the acknowledgement to paternity. It was
Okay.
only for the birth certificate.
Okay, I'm a little confused. Maybe I'm a little slow here. Okay, so the timeline is you conceived this child with Mr. Mesta, then you broke up, I guess, and you got with some other man. And I thought you explained to me that the other man signed acknowledged paternity, not Mr. Mesta. Am I wrong?
He signed the papers. He signed all the
Who's
papers
he?
for
Who's he?
Adolfo, the one I was with.
Okay, so
He
you
signed
think he
papers
signed?
from the hospital. That's how he got his last name.
Well, you can name your child anything. You understand? I can name
Yes.
my child Michael Jordan or, Kobe Bryant, but that doesn't mean it's Kobe Bryant's kid. I can name my child's last name, but any last name too. So that doesn't mean anything. But what I'm trying to get to is about whether you think Mr. Rodriguez signed acknowledged paternity for the older child. You think he signed that? You said something at the same time I was talking, so I don't hear.
No, he didn't. He didn't sign one.
Okay, you think that he did not sign it?
Yes, he didn't.
You 100% positive?
Yes, I'm 100% positive.
Okay. And at the beginning, Mr. Tatum said you were agreed to DNA testing, I think, and the AG was the one that was not agreed. So I just want to, we didn't ask you that yet. Are you agreed to doing DNA testing for the older child?
Yes.
Okay. And are you agreed also to do DNA testing for the younger child too?
Yes.
Okay. What's the state's objection?
Your Honor, being that there was a acknowledgement of paternity already signed by the non-custodial parent here in this matter, the state is requesting to proceed with this matter today and name him as the child's father.
Okay, I'm gonna overrule your objection. I'm ordering DNA for both children. I don't like, now let me explain. I don't like doing DNA tests for older children because your 7-year-old is gonna ask questions. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
kind of why I have the problem with it because, if you have a 1 or 2-year-old child, I don't have a problem with it. I'm probably gonna grant you DNA testing. But you have a 7-year-old child, they're gonna ask questions of why are they putting this cotton swab in my mouth and then you have to answer, and the truthful answer is because your dad doesn't think he's your dad. That's harmful to a child. So, but I understand that you're right to know, but don't sign a paper if you don't know for sure either. Just like anything as far as a contract, don't sign something if you're not sure, because it can be legally binding. So I'm going to grant DNA testing since y'all are agreed to it, even though the state's objecting. But just understand that's going to be a question that your kids are going to ask. All right. What reset date, Mr. Tatum?
January 25th, 2024, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. The Attorney General's office will send you information about where to go do your testing. You're testing both children. You don't have to go together. You both need to appear at the testing as when they schedule you, so that we can get the results back by January 25th. You both need to return to court on Zoom on January 25th so that we can hopefully finalize your case. You're done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, if I had a question about that.
It's too late now, sir. We gotta move on.
All right.